I'm going to come through the other side for once because it's weirder. The musical is over, summer has begun. The time is now when you must think of your future and only your future. Friends will only weigh you down, and love can be bought. Or at least that's what I think the message of this film is, so let's just dig into it. Jeez.
Hello, Disney.
The first film is about the cast preparing for the High School Musical, but it never comes into narrative fruition because it's all about the auditions. And then the second film, leaves high school completely to talk about, they're on summer break and they kind of have a musical, but it's just one or two musical performances in a talent show, which doesn't really qualify for either A, a musical, or B, a high school musical, even though the kids are in high school, but they're not in their, restricted borders of actual high school. They're just in the progress of living through their high school life. Or I could just, dot points the things I liked or disliked about the film and, the themes of the film and just kind of narrate that while showing footage and hopefully not being copyrighted by Disney again.
Enjoy, you money-leeching fucks. It is the end of the school year. It's summertime, time for vacation. Yet, the first thing we hear after the opening number is, I need to get a job. That's right, kids, it's time to grow up. That's what all these kids' films are about, growing up, because the only important years of high school are the final 2 years. Oh yay. Sharpay having taught Gabriella vocal techniques is, well, actually, it's very funny. I actually approve of that. That was a nice callback to the first film. My spirit animal is back, and that is, of course, a good thing. Nobody, especially Disney, wants Troy and Gabriella to kiss. This move is called corporate cockblocking. Sharpay's character arc is maybe to screw Troy because it's summer, anything can happen, and by screw, I don't mean to mess with. Sharpay driving through the desert in Albuquerque. What a beautiful sight with that beautiful, beautiful landscape, and oh man, I miss Breaking Bad. Sharpay wanting everything to be fabulous is the epitome of rich white people. That being said, it's a nicely shot musical number. It's got some nice callbacks to those original 1930s and 40s musicals where they really utilize camera angles for the most unrealistic shots. So that's not too bad. Though, to be fair, even in her natural environment, Sharpay is still a monster of meticulous design. I love when everyone shows up at the end of her musical number just to ruin her life. Perfection. Ryan, Ducky, of course, and his mother have a fun relationship. I wonder where Sharpay gets her, godlike destructive power from.
Always address our members as Mr., Mrs., or Miss. Let's practice, shall we? Miss Evans, would you care for lemonade?
Actually, I'm not Miss Evans. I'm Jason.
Troy's terrible dance moves when he sings about how even though they're all working not the best of the best jobs is not exactly the best way to incite group positivity. It's just terrible. Also, the fact that they thought that they were at the top just because, they were in high school really shows their disconnect from the real world and its eternal depression. And let's not discuss how they use kitchen utensils as percussion instruments. It's like the whole using basketballs as percussion instruments. Oh, God, they do it in every film, don't they? I don't know, maybe. My spirit animal is back to emphasize the romantic themes of the film, whilst also reinforcing how there is totally a musical in this film. It's totally not a talent show, I promise. Also, the fact that Troy and Gabriella just know the lyrics and how the song progresses without having read or practiced it is very romanticized and pretty impossible unless they were there when, my spirit animal actually wrote it. And I know they have their shots of, Gabriella looking through the music while they're singing it, but realistically, no, that's not how it works. That is, especially coming from me, someone who studied music and played in multiple bands in high school, I know how this stuff works, and that's not how it works.
Dude, who cares? For $40? A caddy for Godzilla.
Close. Very close.
Caddying for Godzilla. Oh, that's a great reference, and I love it, and it so totally fits Sharpay. I guess that's the one positive golf reference in this whole entire film. Sharpay's dad is a rich, white golfer dad. Oh, Lord. Oh, and yes, and if you didn't know, I hate golf, so this film just took a turn for the absolute worst. I mean, even the Sharpay shenanigans just don't make up for it. The next part of the second act pretty much just revolves around Sharpay basically jerking Troy off for simply playing sport and being attractive. So yeah, it's pretty boring and creates the main conflict of this movie, that is the new ego that Troy has will ruin his friendships and relationships. But hey, he can play professional sports when he's graduated, so yeah, that's cool, because it's all about his future. That's what's important. Oh my god, this movie couldn't have had a worse way to completely, be about that. My spirit animal very much reflects how I feel just in this one clip of her just disappointed and just tired and just exhausted whilst playing the piano for Sharpay. Oh, this part of the film is just terrible. Sharpay and Ryan's private performance for Troy is... Oh my god, no. It's fucking... Oh my god. And especially that shot of just every shot of Troy's face, especially this one part where just you can see it, and oh my god, I can't believe they got away with this. Troy has to teach kids golf, which is used mostly for a comedic thing, but then of course entangles him teaching Sharpay. I mean, it's just golf. Oh, how do people not know how to hit a ball with a stick? Jesus, at least football's easier. How is football more... Basketball, for some reason, is more entertaining to me than golf, which is not surprising, because golf is boring as hell. Sharpay is a bitch to my spirit animal, and that is just not on. Now the film gets interesting with Troy off-screen with the Red Hawks. I guess that's kind of its own plug. But now we can examine Ryan's redemption arc. So yes, let's gay this shit up and have fun with it, even if, Disney is going to deny the obvious. There's the, of course, I Don't Dance number, which on the surface is just two guys and their adjacent teams playing ball with each other and, singing about how baseball and dancing totally aren't the same thing, at least in principle. On an interpretive level, there's of course the homoerotic tension between Chad and Ryan, which is only confirmed by most fans after the song, because of course they decide to swap clothes, which is kind of actually weird. Just in a general, without the whole potential gay subtext, that is just a weird thing to just do. But maybe it's meant to reflect their characters and being we're totally on each other's side now, But I don't know why a verbal agreement wouldn't have just been fine with it, or just them just hanging out, which seems to be the thing that they're doing, but for some reason they've decided to swap clothes, which is just strange. I mean, maybe it's just a coincidence, but, there's obviously the interpretive factor. However, of course, it's eventually just completely waved away by the film when the film wants to focus on the possible relationship between Ryan and Gabriella. But we all know that's just a cheap shot and it won't distract everyone. And this is everyone that interpreted the whole gay thing from, running away from it. So, maybe I don't know what the hell I'm saying anymore. It's just played for the whole Ryan and Gabriella thing. It's just played for drama. But of course, to be fair, Ryan and Chad aren't really, they don't talk throughout the rest of the film. Or at least they're not, they don't have individual scenes together, so the kind of cute potential behind-the-scenes relationship that they might be having is very much an interpretive thing, and you can take it how you will. I definitely didn't get it on my first watch, but then, when I read the reviews afterwards, being oh, look at the gay subtext, it's not really subtext, it's just an interpretation, which is perfectly fine. Interpret things however you will. I mean, I don't exactly think I'm going to just interpret it as two guys playing baseball, singing about how dancing and baseball is the same thing, but at the same time, it's mostly just confirmed by the fact that they swap clothes, which is still a very bizarre factor, so I wholeheartedly give it to the fans for noticing the potential, gay subtext. Troy imagines Sharpay in a wedding dress. This is the moment that he comes to his senses. Wow, that's a big yikes for me. Ryan wears a big hat during his confrontation with Sharpay, which, of course, it's meant to be, this is his big thing. It's how he embodies his, his independence from the Ice Queen. But just the hat is so distracting. Most of the hats that he wears throughout this franchise are very distracting. So, yeah. But I guess it works for his character. He just does that. Sharpay enforces a change of rules so that the staff, aka the Wildcats, can't perform at the talent show. By this time, in my initial viewing, I had completely checked out. I mean, hell, even writing these notes, I have checked out from this film. I just don't care. I just don't care for it anymore. The Troy and Gabriella reflection song is... who cares? You know what this stuff is. Let's just skip to the end. I'm bored. Oh, wait, what's happened? What, Troy, why are you down? What are you doing? What is this? Why is this another self-reflection song? We just had a what are you doing, Troy? What the fuck is... No! No. Was that dramatic enough? Troy proceeds to quit from Sharpay and rekindle his love for his friends, all nicely set to a piano ballad of "We're All in This Together." Now that's filmmaking. Ryan then convinces Troy to make up with Sharpay, which allows for Sharpay to realize that she can be a good person and allows the Wildcats to perform. But that's not all. Kelsey has to teach Troy a whole new song in only a few minutes before performing it, and yet only now does Troy mention how that's an impossible task. Completely ironic when you think about it. The new song is used to screw over Sharpay so that Troy can instead sing with Gabriella. What? We've completed this character arc because, you know, the movie's almost over, and why else would Gabriella disappear and then come back again? I hope that never happens again in this movie trilogy. But of course, there is more. Yes, Troy and the Wildcats win the show, and then sing one final song together, and everyone lives happily ever after. Also, my spirit animal now has a boyfriend, kind of, who is Jason, the guy who made a joke earlier, yet they never seem to actually have talked on screen together or have any actual connection. So what the fuck are you doing, movie? Why are you screwing with me? This is my spirit animal. Give her a proper relationship. Give her something more than just the girl who writes songs. What the hell are you doing? Where's her spin-off movie? For God's sake, movie! Oh yeah, this is Miley Cyrus, everyone. Hope she enjoyed being in this movie as much as I did watching it.
This film was kind of a disappointment for me. Like, the Father the Son holiday stuff, yeah, cool. I don't really care. The whole... Like, this film is neither a... Like, of course, it is still a musical in the aspect of they sing and dance and do that kind of jazz, but, like, there's no actual musical in this film. The talent show does not fucking count. You know it doesn't count. Like, we've been robbed, people. Like, talent shows don't have to have musical numbers, but in this case, yeah, frackin' doodle, sure. Why the hell not? I mean, because, of course, the characters can mostly just sing and dance, you know? And they don't need a choreography teacher. Have you noticed that? There is not a single choreographer in this whole entire film. Ryan is a director, yes, but is he really a choreographer? I don't think... Isn't the, like, there a different person for choreographers? And I think I understand this at least. Like, are choreographers and directors two different types of people, or can they be one and the same? I don't know. They don't really explicitly say in the film. Nevertheless, it's also not set in high school. It's, of course, during the high school period of the summer break, but, like, is that really high school? Really? Yeah, so obviously I didn't really care much for this film. I know some people do. It's kind of like the cult classic of the trilogy. I think it's utterly boring. Like, I mean, the first act I think is fun. Pretty much once they start doing golf stuff. It has some very few moments in between that I actually like. But by the time we get to the last final bloody musical thing, where even that being its own kind of twist, oh look, Gabriella's back because Troy's not going to sing if Sharpay, I don't care. I've tuned out. They talk about golf. Like, basketball is an okay sport. I guess I don't mind it that much because I at least grew up playing it. We had a hoop and a basketball at our old house. We don't have that here because we don't play sport anymore. I mean, my brother plays football, but, like, we don't even have the backyard for it, so let's be completely fair. But, you know, golf is boring as hell. It's one of the worst sports in my mind, and so the fact that they're going to go into that kind of press, but of course it suits the whole
rich white people kind of deal. Yeah, I don't like this film. Yeah, I guess on a notion of dating, I really hope the next film has at least some kind of something about Chelsea. Like, come on. Kelsey with a K, not Chelsea with a CH. Kelsey, my spirit animal. I mean, I know her name. How do you not know her name? It's because I didn't when I first watched the first film. But still, you gotta give her something. Come on, she's the best character, and she's like taken for nil. So yeah, well, we'll see how this next film, the senior year film, goes, and hopefully it's at least something better than what I've just experienced. See you then. And if you haven't, check out the first part called Despair, High School Musical Analysis. This one's should be called Confusion. Kind of is. Not really. I was confused, I think. Maybe. Cool. See you next time in a Relief? Something like that. It's something along those lines. I don't know. Come out in like a month or two. I don't know. It took me too long to make this video. See ya. Bye. Check out my other videos. Whatever. Adios. Thank you for watching.